Ardnahoe have just unveiled their inaugural release. But is it any good? Today I'm going to open my bottle with you and try it for the first time and let you know exactly what I think of it. Thank you very much for being here with me. My name is Wade and you are here on McIntyre's Malts to share a moment with me tasting Ardnahoe's inaugural release for the very first time. Ardnahoe is the newest distillery on the Isle of Islay, at least until Port Ellen is back up and running again and Portrentruin becomes operational. Ardnahoe was founded in 2017 and is situated between Kalila and Bunnahabhain. Approximately 90% of Ardnahoe's barley is peated to a level of 40 ppm, and apparently the new make has a typically fruity type profile. So I'm interested to see how this one stacks up against the other giants on Islay. One other key thing that I want to note here that is very fascinating to a whiskey enthusiast, this is the only distillery on Islay using worm tub condensers. So we're talking traditional copper coil. Excited to see what that offers in terms of an Islay whiskey. So here is the Ardnahoe inaugural release boxing. Let's get the bottle out and give you guys a look. Very cool. It's a unique type bottle. It's very much got its own character. I really liked the presentation on this one. It's kind of neat. So we have here a 5-year-old whiskey, and to Ardnahoe's credit, I think it's wonderful that they've put an age statement on this. Given that the distillery has been founded in 2017 and I believe commenced operation in 2018, 6 years at best for the whiskey that they've been producing. So to have a 5-year age statement on this and not release it at 3 years is really, really cool. So thank you, Ardnahoe. 50% ABV on this whiskey. And in my market, only the Whisky List has brought this whiskey in, especially for rewards members like myself. And if you want to be a reward member, head down into my description and you can see a link to join the Whisky List rewards if you're in Australia. This is the reason I'm able to get great whiskey like this before it's made available to anyone else. This limited edition inaugural release has been matured in a combination of ex-Bourbon and ex-Oloroso sherry casks. Some tasting notes on the box. We have shortbread, baked apples and Islay peat smoke on the nose, custard, ginger, lemon zest and baked apples on the palate lead into a long and smoky finish, which sounds awesome to me. On the front of the label right here with the age statement, no artificial coloring and no chill filtration. So you couldn't ask for more from a whiskey. Let's open her up and pour a dram and see what it has to offer. This is one of my favorite things to do, is that first moment opening a brand new bottle that you're anticipating what it has to offer. It's wonderful, and any whiskey lover watching this knows exactly what I'm talking about. Very cool. The branding on top of the cap, I'm not sure how well you guys will see this. It is also matching the designs and bottle. The logo here on the front of the bottle is the same as the top of the cork. Moment of truth. Yeah, good sound. Let's pour a dram. Oh, I can smell it from here, guys. Absolutely getting that custard, that apple, and then the smoke just drifts through across my nasal cavity right now. This one's fragrant. Wonderful first impression. Okay, so in the glass we have a very nice copper color Nice natural color, a good realistic representation of a natural color coming from only 5 years maturation, but looks like there's good cask influence on this one already. Let's try now on the nose for the very first time. Unmistakably Islay. You get the smoke on this one, but then it sort of dances with that apple, that creaminess, almost like custard, vanilla custard notes. It's like apple pie and custard. The peat is subtle. This is wonderful. Given that this is peated to 40 ppm, maybe it's going to be way more intense on the palate, but on the nose, it's this beautiful harmony between that sweetness and then the smoke drifts in and out where it catches your nose and then it goes back to the sweetness. Little hints of the influence from the Oloroso cask as well. You're getting touch of baking spice too. Beautiful first impression. Okay guys, only one more thing to do now, and that is to say Slanjavar and try this Ardnahoe inaugural release for the very first time. Let's see. Oh. Whew. There it is. That smokiness, the peat builds up and just erupts across the front of my palate. There's definitely heat and intensity from the ABV. You get a really nice kick up into, say, 4 or 5 seconds into swirling the whiskey on your palate, and the smoke just builds and builds like it's billowing into your mouth. And then you have the underlying sweetness, and you get that heat from the ABV and the intensity of the youth, being that it's only 5 years old, but it's not as youthful as I expected. It's definitely present and you're aware that it's a younger whiskey, but it's wonderfully done for only 5 years. Lots of ashiness hanging around now. Far more smoky and sooty on the palate than on the nose. It's interesting. The nose gives you this false sense of security that it's only a little bit of delicate peat, but then when you sip this whiskey, you're reminded that it's an Islay whiskey. Don't ever confuse it, right? It's well and truly part of the gang, if you will. Okay, what I want to do is add a little touch of water and just see what it brings out of the Ardnahoe. Okay. Just a few drops of water. Let's now see if anything else reveals itself on the nose. It's taken a little bit of the smokiness out of the whiskey. Beautiful sweetness from the bourbon cask. Not lots of complexity, but I don't expect that depth of development and character in only 5 years. But I am impressed with what it does offer at such a young age. Final sip and finish on the palate after the addition of some water. Slanjavar. Oh. Softened it right down. The smokiness, the ashiness is taking far longer to develop now after just that few drops of water have tamed it right down. Loads of that sweet vanilla. There's definitely sootiness now. You're getting elements of oak, a nice wood spice that's not too intense. Very light on the Oloroso influence. You're getting just little hints of spice to give it a bit of depth so it's not so one-dimensional. A very good, solid first release. If you're listening to this Ardnahoe, you should be very pleased and proud of yourself with this release. It's a wonderful insight into what is potentially to come from this distillery. I don't get the heaviness that I expected from the worm tubs, but maybe that just comes in time, or maybe as I work my way through this bottle, I'll get a good understanding of what more it has to show me. I definitely feel like there's a lot of promise in Ardnahoe. I can comfortably say to you guys that I most certainly recommend this one. If you can get this at a very reasonable price, it's a great Islay whiskey. If you like smoke, if you like peaty whiskey, this will probably hit the mark for you. I'm pleased that I got it, and I'm very pleased that you've shared and enjoyed this moment with me together today. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure to let me know by leaving a comment underneath and hitting like under the video now. And if you want to see more like this, make sure you subscribe. Talk to you guys very soon, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of this Ardnahoe. Bye.